You're watching ChillyBoy Productions. I'm Larry ChillyBoy Chilson, and this is my review for Resurrection. Now, before we get into this review, make sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button down below so that you can chill with me on each and every one of my latest videos. Resurrection is a 2022 thriller written and directed by Andrew Simmons. The film follows Margaret, whose life is completely in order. That is, until David returns, carrying with him the ghosts and horrors of her past. First, I have to give a huge shout out to the Casual Critic who did a giveaway on his Twitter. I'll be leaving that handle in the description below, but he gave me a ticket of my choosing for Sundance. So thank you so much. I really appreciate your kindness. He also has a great amount of content, has wonderful reviews from way more Sundance films than I checked out, that's for sure. So make sure you're following him over on Twitter so that you can keep up with all of his great content. This is my second film from the 2022 Film Festival, and one I heard very divisive reactions for coming out of its premiere. But the one thing everybody seemed to praise universally was Rebecca Hall. I've been singing and screaming Rebecca Hall's praises for years at this point, so I was instantly intrigued. I have to say, I just loved this film, in complete honesty. I definitely went in weary, particularly heading into that third act I heard so much about, but everything clicked for me, and I ended up thinking this was a pretty spectacular film. So let's go ahead and talk about those positives first. Well, I'm going to start where everyone has started in the positive section, and that's Rebecca Hall. She is absolutely fantastic. Just last year, she gave one of the best female performances of the year in The Night House, and unfortunately, everybody's forgotten about it or never really watched it in the first place, and I fear she's doomed to that exact same fate yet again, because I really don't see how we get too many performances that can top what Rebecca Hall delivered here in Resurrection. She is absolutely stellar, magnetic. I could not keep my eyes off of her. Whether she's just delivering this really long monologue in which the camera stays on her throughout, no cuts, no takes, just deliverance, or it is those horror elements, the franticness of what her character begins to go through. She kills it in this film, in a career that is stacked full of amazing performances. This is Rebecca Hall's best to date, and yeah, that is definitely saying something. Do you think Tim Roth is also really good in the film? A really sinister, dark kind of allure to his character. And this script, I thought, worked really well. It's a very layered script, one I'm really going to have to sit on, particularly with the meaning of the end of this film. But it works as a great allegory as we are discussing trauma first and foremost in the forefront of what is happening here. But dealing with your past, dealing with what you have done throughout your life, dealing with grief, I mean, it covers a lot in its allegory, and I thought it worked really well. Honestly, as we worked through that final third of the film, I was really scared that we were going to veer off into a direction I didn't love. But really, what ended up happening was that the metaphors and the allegorical content just re-solidified itself in a more meaningful way. I really loved the conclusion. It works well as a thriller as well as you're working through the different aspects of the film. When it's presented more as your traditional straight up thriller, it works great. The mind frenzy you're on with Margaret is really frenetic and full of energy. The gruesome aspects to the film are also fantastic. Honestly, I think it just works start to finish. And the score was definitely another highlight for me. It enhanced my viewing experience throughout. So then, what didn't work so well when it came to Resurrection? Honestly, the only thing off the top of my head that I can think of as a negative was that the overall direction was a bit safe, which may have been very intentional from Andrew because you're dealing with such outlandish content. You're swinging for the fences. So I guess if you're scared, people are going to just peace out on your film and mentally check out with the kind of out there content, then maybe delivering something that looks more palatable is the way to go. However, I just would have preferred that the filmmaking, the cinematography, the way that it was shot, the camera angles would have matched the really frenetic energy of the film, but also just the daring nature of it all. Instead, we're given a pretty safe looking movie. And it's definitely not going to be for everyone. As we work through this film and as it starts to become more metaphorical and more of a think piece, if you will, I don't think it's going to work for everyone. And I completely understand that. Taken as a pure literal piece, it's definitely not going to work for a lot of folks. This is not your straight up thriller. I think it's important to know that heading in so that you know if this is a movie you even want to give a chance to or not. However, I was nervous heading in. I thought it was going to be too much for me. And ultimately, it really moved me and it had my mind reeling after watching. This is one of those films I'm going to see myself just revisiting mentally over and over again, going over what it all means and what it really was saying. And that's the beauty of films like this. And I think Resurrection handled it really, really well. Unfortunately, I don't know if this has been picked up yet. I don't know if it has a release date, but I do hope that Resurrection finds its way into theaters soon. If you're down for some experimental thrillers, definitely keep your eye out and make sure Resurrection stays on your radar. So that was my review for Resurrection. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below and subscribe to the channel so that you are always up to date on all of my latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see Resurrection? Or did you check it out at the Sundance Film Festival? Let me know either in the comment section down below or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Mwah! Thank you for watching and we'll see you next time. Bye.